Welcome to New Zealand. Thanks for joining me. My name is Paul Smith. I'm a photographer based in New Zealand. Thanks for joining me. I just said that. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. I'd appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button below. Today what I want to talk about is creating contact sheets, and I want to talk about creating contact sheets in Lightroom. This is a video for analog photographers. So especially, I'm an analog photographer probably 70% of the time. About a year ago, I was putting my book together, Stolen Moments, and I was having to go back through my archive of negatives, and it became a major job because what I'd done pretty much is just thrown all my negatives into sleeves and put them in a box. And when I was going through this process of selecting images for the book, I was having to go manually through all of these negatives and put them on a light box, trying to find certain negatives that I wanted, and it just became a real mission. And I thought at the time, how cool would it be if I could create contact sheets? So I did a bit of a Google search and found out that it's actually pretty easy to do this in Lightroom. So today what I want to do is just share my method for doing this, and basically how I my workflow, if you like, for my after scan, when I put my negatives away and file them away. This is my workflow, this is my method, and it's pretty simple, but it's pretty cool. So let's get into it. Let's get into Lightroom, where I'm going to quickly show you how easy this is to do, and I'll show you what I do, and you can kind of take it from there and put your own spin on it. Let's get started. Okay, we're in Lightroom here, and I am in the library module, and I'm looking at a roll of film, and this was just a test roll I was running just to play around with, I think, a camera I just bought. But anyway, it's some pictures of a horse. Nothing too interesting, but we'll use it as the demonstration for printing out these contact sheets. So the first thing that you need to do is basically select all of the images that you want to include on your contact sheet. So in this case there is 36 images, which is perfect, which will be one full roll of 36 exposures in 35mm. Select that, and then you need to go to the print module over here. So just check the print module. First thing you need to do is make sure that you have selected the correct layout style here. On the top, the first selection here is single image contact sheet, so that needs to be checked. Now what I want to do basically is I want to set the sheet out to replicate the layout of my negative sleeve, so that when I put this contact sheet with the negatives, I attach it to the negative sleeves, and I want it to kind of relate to the negative sitting in the sleeves. So now I think I was previously printing out contact sheets for a roll of 120 film, and I've got it set up at 4x3 here. So let's just change this, and you can use the sliders to change this, or you can type in the values that you want here. Now, being a roll of 36 exposures, 35mm, I want to make this 6x6. So I'll just type that in. Now, as you can see, we've got these little images here which are too small. So let's just play around with our spacing of our cells, make them a bit bigger, play around with my margins and all sorts of stuff here. I can uncheck this here to, at the moment that was checked for keeping square, again for 120 film. So let's make it look a little bit more like 35mm should, and we'll just play around our margins here, right, top, bottom. Let's squeeze these up, bottom, play around a bit. That'll do me, I think that'll do me. It gives you an idea how it works. So that's how I'll set it up. So that should now reference to the negative sleeves, and the negative sitting on the sleeves. If you want to, you can show the guides in here. I keep that turned off. You can play around with that there. There's rulers, page bleed, margins and gutters, but I just keep that switched off. This is a cool feature here, the identity plate, which really is a good visual first off reference to the negatives in the sleeve. So what you can do here is click on that and you can edit that, and let's just type in, this was a picture of a horse, his name is Axel, it was on HP5, and I shot this at box speed. So what I typically do, I'll just give it a reference name. It might be a location where I was at. I'll put the film there, and I'll put the speed that I shot the film. And that's just a really good first off visual reference for me going through the negatives, and it just helps me identify what's in that sleeve. Really, really handy. The other thing here, we have a watermarking feature. Yeah, really handy if you're sending contact sheets to clients, especially if you're a digital photographer. This is ideal for using with your digital photography. You can send contact sheets to your clients. You can watermark them. I don't use that in this case. It's basically just for my own use, so that doesn't need to be on. You can put page numbers on here, all sorts of stuff you can do. Again, I don't use that for obvious reasons. I just want this to replicate like a contact sheet for my film negatives. Another really useful feature is that each image you can actually apply some information to. I have this set on default, which is the date, which is obviously that would be the date that I scanned this. But you can play around with this. There are quite a few things that you can do here. You can actually customize this in this little customizable box here. There's all sorts of information that you can put on there. You can do customized text. You can use a range of preset customizable options. Quite powerful and very, very handy. But again, I just basically at the moment, I'm just having that default set to date. Gives me an idea when that stuff was scanned. Usually if I am in the scanning process, I will create this contact sheet immediately. So that gives it a fairly good reference as to when I actually shot the roll as well. Or you could, alternatively, you could change that date to when you actually shot the images. You could change that manually. And that's pretty much it, really. The rest of it's pretty simple. I just print it out from here, send it to the printer. Then I attach that to my negative sleeves. I staple that to the negative sleeve and then file away in a folder. And like I say, it's a really good, quick and easy reference method to have your negatives filed away, and you've got an easy, quick visual reference to what's in those sleeves. So that's it. Pretty simple, really. I hope you got something out of that. It's pretty simple, I know, but it's surprising to me how these little tips and tricks, how many people don't know about them. So if you've learned something today, that's all good. That's it for this episode. Thanks for joining me again. If you'd like to support my channel, you can do so by buying my limited edition print pack from my book, Stolen Moments, which is sold out. My limited edition print pack is a set of 5 prints, which is available from my website. I'll put a link up here for it. The print pack, like I say, consists of 5 prints, all individually signed, numbered. There's a few copies left. I also have an ebook. If you want to support the channel and buy my ebook, which is a lot easier for you if you want to just have something that's ready for you to go, my ebook Emscapes is available also from my website. Emscapes is a ebook about my digital Leica photography. I've also bundled that with a bunch of wallpapers for your desktop computer, your mobile devices, or your tablet. Emscapes available for 15 New Zealand dollars, which is about $10 US. The prints are available for 25 New Zealand dollars, which is about 15 US dollars. So it's all pretty good buying. 2 ways you can support my channel. You can also support my channel by subscribing as well. That would also be very good. Subscribe to the channel, like and share this video as well. Go and support me on Instagram while you're at it. I'll put links below for my Instagram feed. I'll put links below for the book, for the prints. Check it out. Support the channel, please, if you could. I'd appreciate it. That's it for this episode. Thank you so much for joining me. I've got to go now. I'll see you again soon. Haere rā from New Zealand. Goodbye.